Hey guys, it's Scott here, and in this latest gameplay video I'll be playing through a small portion of yet another Zombie Defense HD for the Nintendo Switch. So this particular game has been out before on previous platforms such as Windows PC, Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Probably, I'm not 100% sure. And as you can probably assume, it is a zombie defense survival game where the aim of the game is to survive as long as possible through the various different waves of enemies that appear. Now the game itself features 3 different gameplay modes, which is defense, endless and deathmatch, and features 4 different characters, which are that girl, that guy, SWAT guy and Doctor guy. So there's not really a lot of content in the game in terms of gameplay modes and characters, but the gameplay in entirety of the game itself can be played online with other opponents or can be played locally on the same Switch console. So there's some sort of local co-op and online co-op play in action, which I think is pretty cool, but at the end of the day there's not really a lot much here. It gets very repetitive very quickly, and yeah, basically after 30 minutes I was completely bored out of my brains. So like I say, there's 3 different gameplay modes, 4 different characters, but to stir things up a little bit, after each wave, as you see here, we're in the middle of the first wave, or second, in between the first and second waves, you will be given the option of creating defenses on the map. So after successfully completing the first night or the first wave of enemies, you'll then be given a chance to place defenses, which can be barricades such as those wooden spikes, or electricized wires, or auto torrent defenses. You can also use your money to buy additional weapons such as machine gun, shotgun, flamethrowers, rocket launchers, any type of weapon you can possibly imagine. It is included in here, including a chainsaw, which is actually pretty useful. And additionally, if you defeat enough enemies, you will level up, which is what you saw here, and you can actually level up your character, his health or movement or recovery speed or movement speed and that type of thing. So that's really the only strategic element to yet another Zombie Defense HD, whereby money earned by defeating enemies can then be used to either upgrade your weapons, upgrade your defenses, and if you defeat enough enemies on the map, your character will then be leveled up, which you can then level up. But sadly, any level up and weapon purchases you do make do not carry over onto the next gameplay mode. So it is pretty much a arcade style single approach game whereby you just play for as long as possible until you die. If you do die, then you've got to restart all over again from the very beginning, and after each wave enemies do become stronger, and as you can see, more enemies appear on screen, so it does become a lot harder as you progress, and it's definitely a game that's better playing with friends. Playing by yourself, as seen here, does get very boring very quickly. You may notice as well on the right hand side of the screen a moment ago that achievements still do appear as well. So the achievements were originally released in the Steam and Xbox PlayStation versions. I assume it was released on the Xbox and PlayStation. I know for a fact it was released on Steam, but whatever. Kind of don't really care at this point, because I've lost all interest in the game. Shouldn't probably really be saying that, considering this is like just sort of my thoughts and views, but hey ho, let's move on. So yeah, the achievements that were in the original version of the game have been carried over into this Steam Switch version, should I say. So any achievements that were relevant in the original game do appear in this game, as well as, I guess it does give you a little bit of replay value if you want to try and unlock those achievements in the Switch version, but obviously Nintendo Switch doesn't have an achievement system, so it's not like you can share those with anybody anyway. So I guess that's that. In terms of the gameplay modes themselves, then by default, defense is the only one that is unlocked. In order to unlock endless and deathmatch, you have to get to wave 7 on defense, and then once you've got to wave 7 on defense, the other 2 modes will unlock. So endless, pretty much the same as defense, it just carries on endlessly until everybody's dead, whereas deathmatch pits you against other players online or offline, depending on how you're sort of playing the game. So adds a little bit of variety, but at the end of the day it's pretty straightforward and simple. I guess there is a bit of a strong difficulty curve, obviously because of how hard it can get when you are, surviving wave after wave. And yet again, when you're trying to unlock the additional gameplay modes, you don't unlock those till after wave 7. So if you're not very good at the game and you can't sort of manage to get into wave 7, then you're never going to access that content. Fortunately, if you do play online, which you do need a Nintendo Switch Online subscription in order to play online, you will be able to jump into a match with other players quite easily. I jumped into a few matches online and, you know, was managed to get those modes unlocked without too much difficulty. So that's pretty much my thoughts offline, which, you know, is what we're still playing here in this video. But if I die here, which is what happens, we will then take a look at the online portion of the game. So as you can see here, I've managed to jump into a online level or online match with a few other people. So when you've got other players on screen, there's 4 different characters you can have. Like I say, 4 different characters, 4 different players. All makes sense. Interestingly enough, we've all been the same character as the Doctor, because I just wanted to carry that joke along for no apparent reason, even though it's not really that funny, to be fair. And when you do join a match, you will see your teammates on screen walking around as they would be doing on their screen, and as you can see, they have names above their character names. Bizarrely enough, I think this may be a bug when I was experiencing it during my playthroughs, is that one of the characters that isn't me is displaying my username. So my Switch username, and which is also my Twitter name and PSN name and Xbox Live name, Emo185, is displayed above one of the other characters, as opposed to being displayed above my name or above my character. So as you can see here, the guy in the middle, it has my username above his head, when realistically it should be one of the other characters in the match. Now, I have no idea why that's happening, don't really care, to be honest, but that's how it is. So the online mode once again works exactly the same as offline mode. Now, any offline mode that you do have access to, you can access online as well, as it works exactly the same way. You just have to defeat endless waves of enemies until you've reached the next wave. If you do fail that wave and die, then you have to go all the way back to the beginning again and start from the beginning. Bit annoying, but I guess that is the challenging aspect of the game. But at the end of the day, that is the game itself. Just basically survive for as long as possible, die, repeat, rinse and repeat. Basically it. Reminds me of the film Edge of Tomorrow, or Die, Rinse, Repeat, or whatever it's called in whatever country you're watching it in. But how the multiplayer does sort of work is that all the enemies that you kill, all the monsters and zombies that you kill, you will have a pool of cash. So all the teammates have access to that pool of cash. It's not individual to you. So whatever money you earn, it's shared between all 3 or 4 or 2 or however many people are playing online in that match. At first I thought it was just my funds, so if you are a bit trigger happy in spending money, you'll eventually find out that it's not actually your money, it's the actual group money, and so, you know, you could run out of funds pretty quick. So for example, I was actually spending money on ammo, and then I was quite surprised when no money was available because one of the other teammates spent money on a ton. Yeah, that's how it works. I thought it worked a different way, and I guess it works better this way. And obviously with the score as well, that's pulled together to everyone in one go. So the entire score that's been displayed in the top right hand corner is the score for everybody that's playing in that moment in time, rather than just your particular score. And then when the match ends, or if you die, then that score is shared online onto the online leaderboards. Now, whether or not you play offline or online or in a team or single player, when you die, your online score, if you do have a Nintendo Switch Online membership, will be shared online to an online leaderboard. You can view that leaderboard at any given time, and there's actually quite a fair few number of people playing the game, but yet again, it doesn't really offer much gameplay value If you've played the game before on Steam or PlayStation 4 or any other platforms that this game is available for, it's exactly the same, just on the Nintendo Switch. It's kind of a good, like, you know, switch off your brain and just shoot for 5 minutes, but after that 5 minutes, it does get very repetitive and, in my mind, a bit boring. But yeah, that's my experiences with yet another Zombie Defense HD, which is available for the Nintendo Switch, and I assume many other platforms as well. So in a nutshell, that's everything you can expect from yet another Zombie Defense HD, which is available to download from the Nintendo eShop for the Nintendo Switch, but the game is also available on other platforms such as Steam, Xbox and PlayStation.